everybody. I'm Melissa Sorrentino. I am the Improv Sophisticate, here to talk to you about life and love and the pursuit of improv. And I want to talk today about a subject that I've come across when I was in a class once, and this was kind of brought to the forefront for me personally. And I would say that I would mark this, like stamp that as like when I learned this life lesson, and then how it's kind of continued down the path of continuing to really recognize that this is a very important life shift, mind shift in thinking. It is the word vilification. Vilification. All right, so I want to talk first in terms of improv teams. Now, it's not just teams. I mean, this could be a band, this could be a pairing. You might be on several teams, you might be in a class. And I've noticed that something that a lot of us do is to vilify either a person or the instructor or even the theater itself. And we do this in a way to release ourselves from participation. Now, I was in a group for a while and I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic, fantastic teacher, great facility. I dug it a lot. And there was a person that was kind of, he was a little bit like not completely on board, a little tiny bit abrasive, like compared to the rest of the group. But, nobody's perfect. And I believe that there was a certain amount of gossip. Maybe once after a show it was mentioned, and that's like a gateway, man. Gossip is a fucking gateway. You crack that puppy open, one person says, well, I don't know what so-and-so was doing. And then it's like, oh, I know, isn't he terrible? And then it's like, oh, you know what I heard? He blah, 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 blah. Oh, really? Well, blah, 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 blah. And then next thing you know, it's just like gas on the fire and everything's terrible. It could be that, or it could be just you inside your head, or let's all just be honest here. We go home and to our non-improv loved ones, kind of talk quite a bit of smack about things that we would never want outed among our peer group, whether that's improv or at work or at church or at, whatever group you might belong to, freaking yoga class. But what happens, I believe, is that because we start to follow that cognitive pattern of vilifying maybe that person was PMS. Maybe that person just got some bad news. Maybe that person really is just a fucking asshole and they're working on it. Or maybe they're not working on it and they're gonna get lost. It's all stuff that we can learn from. So I recommend, if you are in a group or a class or a system or something, that you really force yourself to look toward the positive and keep asking yourself, no matter what that mental chatter that's putting you down into that negative rut, and you're starting to go into fuck this land. Just keep on saying, yes, but I still could work on my space work. So every time I show up, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to be all about, I'm pulling something down and I don't know, my space work is sucking right now, but that was like a bank window thing, and I'm reaching through the bank window. I'm like, oh, I got to get a pen. It's really hard to get it through this little hole. I know I'm sorry. I think that one's out of ink. Well, try it. So you're just doing space work. What I'm trying to say is you contain it. Maybe it's space work. Maybe it's stop asking so many questions. Maybe it's to be more creative. Maybe it's to initiate more. Maybe it's to back off and let your partners initiate more. Whatever your lesson is. And I say just keep on, just stay in the soup and simmer. Just stay in the soup a little bit longer and simmer. Now, it's ironic because yesterday I just talked about abort mission. But I want to just address that little part of you that knows the truth, that you, at least in the quiet of your own, room, can be like, all right, am I leaving because this isn't good for me? Am I leaving because this is a place that I can't grow? Or am I leaving because I have exaggeratedly vilified a person a teacher, whatever it is about the place, you know. And if the answer is the only thing here is that I am vilifying something, I venture to say stay until you can resolve that issue, because that in itself is a lesson. So I want to plug that into a work situation. I'm not going to go into anything personal, but I definitely think a lot of people quit their jobs because one day they sort of like, it's like we use that to power us ahead, to give us the balls to leave. And I think that that's a valuable tool when it helps us. But just keep it contained. Encapsulate that and say, I am conscious that I am utilizing the vilification of this place to get the fuck out of here. But it's only because I truly took the pattern of like, do I have more that I could get on my resume out of this? Have I really learned? Have I confronted? Sometimes the lesson, and this I will get personal. For me, there was a job and I was so ready to go. I was done. And I was like, okay, now that I know I'm leaving, I think this is a really good time for me to practice confrontation. So I actually went into my boss's office and closed the door and said, I'd like to speak to you, you know, and she's like, what? And I was like, well, you know, I've been feeling for a long time, really since I was hired, that there's some sort of, kind of tension that I don't know what it's about. And I would just like to learn, and I would like to know what that's about. And this person just fucking unloaded. I mean, went into like a tantrum tirade, and it was something that had actually, it had to do with, like, it was of me, but it wasn't from me. It was something in particular to the situation of my hiring that had taken place that truly had absolutely nothing to do with me personally. Insert person here. It would have been the same if it was that situation. It would have been the same issue. So I was actually correct. This person had like a chip on their shoulder about me getting hired from day one. So it was a lesson. It really was. Now I'm going to go deep. My marriage. I'm not going to go too personal. I'm going to hope to try to always rein that back with these videos. But same thing. When we are in a breakup situation, we tend to vilify each other. He's vilifying me, I'm vilifying him. And this is where I want to talk just for a sec about all or nothing thinking. Black and white thinking, no gray, no in between, no interim. It's just like it's polarized. And it's this theory that we have, and I wish to debunk this, that someone is the bad guy and someone has to be the good guy. Like, well, if you're not the good guy, then I'm the good guy. Well, if you're not the bad guy, then I must be the bad guy. And I question that. Why does either of us have to be the bad guy? Why does either of us have to be the good guy? Can we be different? Can we be, sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm right? Can we be imperfect? Can our percentages of imperfections not be necessarily fucking quantified and judged and thrown at each other like barbs and weaponry? So I'm really happy that as Ben and I got a divorce, we definitely started to, like, we came to forgiveness, we were very kind to each other, and then now, you know, we haven't even been divorced for a year and a half quite yet, and we're already very amicable, and it's like there's no need. I don't have to decide he's the bad guy. He doesn't have to decide I'm the bad guy. If he has in his head, fine. Maybe he could watch this video, but I don't think so. And, you know, none of us can be right all the time. And none of us are just like the horrible person in class or the horrible person in the show. Now, all that being said, I want to put something a little bit more fun into this in regards to improv, which is this. Don't be afraid to make people the bad guy in a scene. It's so fun. Now be careful that you're not always making the same person a bad guy in the scene. And be very careful that you're not actually calling someone out on like a personality flaw on stage. Because I'm insensitive to that because I'm kind of dense anyway. Like probably by design. But honestly, I'm like, you know, whatever. If somebody calls me a slut, I'm like, what? yeah, or whatever quality that I might not be so proud of that somebody might label me as, or like ditzy or rambling or a chatty Cathy. You see what I'm saying, but definitely don't shy away from making somebody a villain in a scene and labeling them or labeling yourself. Don't shy away from that. And when people label you as a villain, try not to take it personally. Just have fun with it and be like, sweet, I get to be like the bad guy. I am throwing, pumpkin bombs all around today. And that is super fun in this scene. So there you have it. Just a little bit of commentary on vilification. I'm curious if you folks have ever been in a situation where you now recognize maybe you were vilifying the person, or where you vilified them up to a certain point and then you realize, okay, I need to stop this and start working on forgiveness work. I'm just curious about what your experience is in this. At work, in relationships, of course in scenes, and in the community of improv, in your teams, in your theaters. That kind of stuff. So leave your comments below, and I'm trying to learn how to be one of these like YouTube people that's like, I don't know which way I'm supposed to point, but press your little like button. That'd be awesome. Mucho apreciacione for that. That wasn't Spanish, but I made it up. And also subscribe, and then when I get new uploads, you will get them. Quick comment about the uploads. I am going to start launching I'm calling them the prequels, because I've been doing this, like I said, for like 90 days, and I really only just posted yesterday that I kind of was like, okay, I'm definitely want to move forward. I didn't want to do it if I wasn't going to really commit to it. So commitment made, check, and I am moving forward. So I want you guys to like stuff. I want you to subscribe to stuff. I want you to leave comments on stuff, and I want you to, if you are interested, watch my journey towards this. Watch my journey getting out of my shower and talking about whether or not I want to do, what the fuck I wanted to do with my life. Watch me cry over my divorce. Some of it's fun and some of it's very, very raw, but I think it's going to be really cool. I'm in a position in my life where I get to be super exposed because nobody's going to be hurt. So I'm going to just go ahead and just expose the hell out of myself for the sake of, anybody else that might be going through a similar journey. All right. That's all I have to say. I love you guys super duper, and I will talk to you later. Bye.